Hello, friends. It is I, Kitty-Kalamari. I decided to do something a bit out of my comfort zone and watch an anime that is not for me. Let's be honest. It's not made for people like me. Well, yeah. So I found out about an anime called Bastard, and I'm like, what the fuck is Bastard? Like, what kind of weird ass name is that? And I got drawn in by the fucking opening being really fucking cool. And then there's a white-haired, long-haired, pretty anime boy, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this. Oh boy, this was a mistake. Oh. Anyway. So, oh man, this show, so many mixed feelings. I'm gonna be honest, I've only watched like the first 5 episodes, which I think is a good like midpoint. I'm a busy person. I have a lot of shit going on in my life, and not only that, but I needed a break from this show because oh my fucking god, fuck the slime creature. Like, fuck you, you green little slime shit. You suck. So, the show is aesthetic as fuck. It's the kind of shit I live for, but I also hate because of other things. It has a long-haired Ikemen, magic, a metal soundtrack. Like, oh, what's there not to love? Let me tell you. Well, this anime is a little bit lewd. And I don't like lewd content, and I usually avoid lewd content. But, you know, I was drawn in by the metal soundtrack, the really pretty animation, and a really pretty main character. So, you know, curiosity killed the cat. I don't know if Satisfaction brought it back, but here I am. So, what the hell is Bastard? Bastard is a 90s anime that recently got a Netflix reboot, and it's about a dark magician hell-bent on world domination who was cheated death through reincarnation. 15 years ago, before the start of the series, he was defeated by a priest and I think some other dude, I think a prince, and then sealed in the body of a child. And wow, the seal can only be broken by a virgin's kiss, because of course it is. That's not so bad, actually. I actually like that kind of like fantastical element of it, but it's like, it's gotta be a maiden. It's gotta be a young little virgin. Ay, ay, ay. Overall, I do have to give the show its props. Its world building is great. Within the short exposition of the show, it establishes a big bad while also hinting at the magician's true identity. I think it's pretty cool that the current fantasy world is actually in the future. It's the aftermath of an apocalyptic event and a fight between a sword-wielding mecha dragon and a goddess of destruction. I mean, that's metal as hell, bruh. And the current world in the show is a pure medieval fantasy rife with armored-clad knights, busty maidens, because of course. The male gaze is strong in this one. Like I said, it's a lewd show. But at least the magic is fucking gorgeous. Like, the visual effects are just so beautiful. Oh my god, I can't get over how pretty the show is. And, So to set the stage, here's a quick synopsis of the first episode. The kingdom of Metallicana, I think is how you're supposed to say it. It's a reference to Metallica. It's supposed to be Metallica. Is attacked by the Dark Rebel army. And it's an army led by powerful magicians who were once Dark Schneider's disciples. Dark Schneider being the magician guy. In an act of desperation, Yoko, this virginly priestess, is forced to awaken the powerful entity hidden within her childhood friend Lucian, and out comes Mr. Rowdy Badass Magician of Legend, Dark Schneider. And he has no interest in helping until Yoko's like, you motherfucking bitch, better get up on your ass and take care of these fucking bad guys, because I did not raise you to be a fucking wimp and some other shit. And then like that awakens some like thing in him, and he's like, you know, helping now because like the child's mind is kind of melded with his, and so like the child's emotional reaction to being yelled at, and he's like, oh fine, I'll do it, or stop yelling at me, and it's really cute. I like it. So then he defeats the enemies using his signature spell. I think it's called Viper, which is epic. All his spells are named after metal bands and like, oh my god, it's cool. Anyway, after he defeats the bad guys, he's like, fuck you bitches, I have my own thing to do. I want to take over the world and I want to have a harem. Fucking nerd, I swear to god. And then Yoko stops him, and during their confrontation, Yoko's like, man, why do I have feelings for this man? What is this, some magic? He's like, nah, I'm not charming you. I fucking hate you, bitch. And then he kisses her, and then transforms back into Aleutian. Okay, so this is where I got hooked. I was not expecting a romantic subplot of this level. And though it might sound weird, the show kind of reminds me of Inuyasha. There's an uber powerful male character who is completely whipped by their aggressive female companion. And I find the similarity very hilarious because the genres and target audiences are quite different. I feel like there's a lot of potential for angst and character exploration in this ship alone, given we have 2 souls in one body as half the main ship. Lucian, however, is kind of a blank slate devoid of personality and sometimes even situational awareness. So far, he's only been a plot device, and I think he's like a shitty Oscar from RWBY. That's what I've compared him to my friends. But there are some good bits to Lucian's personality that we only get to see shine through when he's Dark Schneider. Lucian's affection for Yoko is ultimately what keeps Dark in check, and his general kindness and carefree innocence wins over Dark's ambitions, and overall Lucian is just more able to express his frustrations through Schneider's persona, and I think that's really cool. Like this kid seems like he's got nothing going on in his head, and then suddenly when Mr. Powerful Magician Man gets released, it's like all of the kids' like hidden frustrations and thoughts kind of like get filtered through Mr. Magic Man. And well, as far as I can tell within these few episodes, we don't see any of like Schneider's personality seep into his persona at all, at least from the couple of episodes I've seen. He was able to momentarily take over Lucian's body when he was asleep, but like that's not the same as like your personality literally being taken over when technically you're the one in charge now. And also, the kid's name is Lucian, like Lucian, like Lucifer, like something's up with this kid. He's not just some like random ass kid. Overall, the plot seems a little basic, but it has a natural flow to it, which is typical fantasy fare, so I don't really hate it. The rescue arc in those first few episodes is very D&D like. So the story kind of seems to be aiming towards Dark Schneider winning over some of his previous disciples and comrades. And like, yes, he was a villain from the past, but now he's like the hero of now. So that's interesting. Overall, I think the show has a lot going for it. Great animation, interesting world, potential identity crisis stuff, I don't know. A lot of shows set up stuff like this and then never explore it, and I'm kind of afraid of that. But for all the praise I have for this show, there's definitely a lot of questionable things. The show falls into some really uncomfortable tropes, and it's so unapologetically horny, which is a huge turnoff for me, and I understand it's not a deal breaker for some people, so, you know, to each their own. But this show is quite unkind to its female cast. The women exist to move the plot along and to provide eye candy. Like, the only eye candy we get is Dark Schneider, and like, he's the main character. He's like, oh, I'm a badass and hot. Fuck you, bitches. Oh my god. So the women often get put into compromising positions and humiliated. It was bad enough for me to actually want to cover my screen while watching, and like the first 2 episodes really led me to believe it wasn't going to be all that explicit, and then it went there with the fucking slime. Fuck that little slime bitch. I hate him. Oh my god. Anyway. Where was I? Dark Schneider is also implied to have been a groomer before getting sealed into young Lucian's body. Yikes. I haven't seen the episode where she appears, but this show has like 3 female characters so far, and they all want a piece of him. And if age differences make you uncomfortable, there's a lot of that going on there. Yoko and Lucian are hinted at having romantic feelings. He's definitely 15, even though he looks and acts like a 10-year-old and is even dumber than a 10-year-old, but okay. We don't know how old Yoko is, but they are kind of implied to have like a familial relationship. They live together, they sleep in the same bed sometimes, and it's kind of played off as like, oh, Lucian's such a little boy. He just wants to sleep with his mommy, or some kind of that kind of vibes is what they're trying to play it as, but like, I don't know. They're not related though, so it's fine, but like the age gap I think can't be more than 2 to 3 years, which is fine, I guess. I don't know what to feel about this. And Yoko is often called a kid, so I don't know what her age is. I'm hoping she's 18 and people just call her a kid because she's young, and like for my own sanity, because fucking episode 4 assaulted my eyes with the fucking slime. And yeah, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but Dark is like 400-year-old, so like weird age gaps are just like, they're gonna happen. Okay, so yeah, this show is not like a comfy, wholesome, ooh-woo feeling anime. It's a dark metal fantasy. It's got really cool shit, but it has all the pitfalls of a male power fantasy. Fucking shit, I had to use that term. There is an audience for these kinds of shows, so I don't consider it an inherent flaw, but rather a conflict of my own personal taste. So, like, I would give the show a 7 out of 10 just based on the first 5 episodes. I love the world building. I love the animation. It's fucking beautiful. And, like, it's great, but god, the treatment of the female characters and the fucking slime. Fuck you, slime. Anyway, despite this, I think I'm gonna watch the rest of the series when I have time, and I just am so traumatized by the fucking slime. I'm sorry. I think the show is neat, and I would recommend it to people who aren't uncomfortable with the things I'm uncomfortable with. Anyway, bye-bye.